let's give it another 30 seconds to see others who join us. Okay, everyone, welcome to the Database Scalability Working Group meeting. Today is March 7th, so I'll start from the agenda. The first update is the first item, a significant updates since last meeting. From the sharding group, first of all, huge thanks to Jose and Nathan. They got the primary cluster reboot completed over the weekend. Very appreciate that effort. And now we are unblocked from turning phase 3 on in production. And then the follow-up actions needs to happen before we can turn the phase 3 on is the associated configuration changes, which is described in this CR. So Ken was informed of this CR, and we are looking for SRE's assistance to get the CR implemented and take it effective in the environment. Any questions? Then moving on to the disaster recovery discussion, the discussion already started. Very great engagement from multiple people already. So that discussion is moving forward normal. And Jose also created 2 epics. One is to create an environment for the testing, and the other is this one just to describe the scenarios that failures could happen, then design the test cases here. Yeah, Fabian also suggested a risk matrix to identify the high priorities of the testing scenarios. Mac, you want to verbalize your question?
Yeah, thanks. We did some risk mapping exercise within the ops team, and I wonder if it'll be useful to have an SDET review the plan. I think it's great that everyone's marching forward on quality. Quality is everyone's responsibility, but having another set of eyes from the SDET would make the plan even more solid.
Yeah, I think overall that's definitely going to help. And this risk matrix is specific to the failure mode of multiple databases, and then prioritize those. But definitely SDET review will help, in my opinion. But Camille, you have any thoughts here?
I don't have any thoughts at this moment. We're definitely gonna have to figure out like the validation and the testing plan to automate as much of these things and have like the let's say move on criteria. So we get back to that, Mac, also with your team and figuring out how we can leverage you.
Yeah, thank you. And also FYI, so I think Jose was planning for a large environment, something, if I recall correctly, he was looking for something like 50K environment to test the failure mode.
Yeah, we can pull in an SCT here to help. I think one thing to highlight is that in the past, risk maps and risk matrices have taken quite a few weeks. It's not a quick process. It takes a while to make sure that you fully understand things and can identify them and have them written up. So there would be some trade-offs since we don't have an SCT in this area. So we need to figure out what trade-offs need to happen to accommodate that, but we can absolutely find somebody to take that on.
Thank you. And we still have some time here. This task is really targeting for phase 7. So yeah, phase 7 is the last one. So we still have some time here.
Is there any rough timeline? Like, are we talking weeks or months to get to phase 7?
Our phase 7 wrap up target line is wrapping up on the May 20th at this moment. So there is update later here in the review or rollout process. So you can see the timeline here. I'm highlighting that epic. So yeah, that's the timeline looks like right now.
Vinci, maybe you and I can take it. Oh, sorry, Mike.
To be clear, this is initiated by the disaster recovery group. So I was thinking the current SCT and GO can help us review, and I'm not trying to boil the ocean and get GitHub.
This is actually different from the disaster recovery working group. This is thinking about the specific disaster scenarios for rolling out the decomposed database. So this is separate from the geo for disaster recovery effort.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, this is not a general disaster recovery. This is about the failure mode, and we tested those failures and see how we can recover from anything that unexpected from this decomposed databases.
All right. Thank you. Tanya would know best though.
Yeah, Vinci and I'll take an action item to discuss and figure out what to shift around and who best to pull in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, minor one. We are still looking for some additional FEs, front-end engineers, to test drive the multiple databases GDK. I will continue to reach out and see any volunteers available. And we already identified. We already got many volunteers from different functional groups like the BE, tech writing, and UX. So we have a good coverage there. Any questions? Okay. Sam and Tim are not here. Is Steve here? Nope. So looks like I need to just follow up with Steve or Ken on the change request I mentioned earlier. And then moving on to next, review the rollout progress. So our based on current progress, our project timeline was updated last week, and now projecting May 20th to fully deploy the phase 7 in production. That is about 2 weeks out from the previous projection. Any questions? Okay, then moving on to review the progress charts here. Overall, our outstanding development issues keep trending down, and our MR pace is on track. The charts are captured here. The screenshot is below here. So it looks it's looking at the right trend here. And risks and number 4 and 5, nothing to update here. And number 6, others. Jerry, you want to verbalize your comment?
I'm just yelling about this anywhere I go to, so you can go review that MR, because we're seeing more requests for data stores, and so trying to write some guidance to developers and anyone else as to how we think about this and trying to help people get to the right places. Because right now they're coming, you know, either I hear about something or something tells me something. So we are trying to offer a little bit of guidance on how people should go about storing data.
Thank you. Is this the new thing? I mean, being spawned from the discussion of another data store in from the, what was that feature?
There were 2 requests recently. One of them was reviewer recommender. And then the other one is the work that's being done for ops trace, which likely looks like it's going to introduce a brand new data store. So yeah. in various conversations, I keep running into people that are thinking about new databases. And so just trying to put some structure around that. Right now, I put it in something in guidelines in the architecture, then we'll figure out where it should actually land. But at least this should help folks in engineering sort of work through this maze to land at the right place and the things that we can do.
Thank you. So, so sounded like it helps by bringing this to the development community or our development channel to make sure that everyone is aware of those guidelines as being articulated.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. And Mac.
Yes, thank you. So we're using the data from this group, the functional decomposition, to build out the dashboards at the stakeholder level. So I think when we're in a stable state of engineering velocity and less on engineering allocations, but normal maintenance going forward, and we're picking the data here to try out those dashboards. I'm trying to render the backlog within the infrastructure team within the different teams. I'd like to know if someone can I reach out to and then help me get the labels that we can use to render. That would be super helpful.
Yeah, reach out to Steve. He would route you to one of the managers, but there are 4 now, so I don't know which one is
Okay.
handling this. I mean,
Thank
for
you.
the work taking place in this working group, it would likely be Ken or Dave.
Okay, and Dave, that's helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's the end of the agenda today. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.